All right, it is time for our featured speaker. Let me say a few things about Ashley. She started almost 4 years ago. I want you guys to give her a lot of love today. She is part of Team Best of You. She's a 5-star diamond coach, and she has hit elite 3 times. So she's a 3-time elite coach, and she ended 2020 ranked number 86 in the whole entire network. Fantastic. Good for her. She's a Success Club All-Star legend, which means that she has achieved Success Club more than 24 months. She's hit it 40 months in a row. That's helping at least 3 new people every single month. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Schoen. Yes, yes, yes. You're here. You're here.
Hi, Sandy. Can you hear me okay?
I can definitely hear you. I am going to let you talk to the audience. Let them know what brought you here a little over 3 years, almost 4 years ago.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Schoen. I have been a coach for 3.5 years. And if you would have met me prior to coaching, I was working full-time in the ER as a nurse practitioner in a large trauma center, which in many regards was my dream job. I grew up playing many sports. I played volleyball, basketball, softball. I was a college track and cross-country athlete, and even continued to stay active into my adult life. Right up until my pregnancy, my whole goal was to stay in shape and hopefully be that mom that bounced back afterwards. And it was actually during my pregnancy that I stumbled upon this random woman's page on Facebook. She was sharing about sleep training. And working in the emergency room, I was already losing a lot of sleep. So I was somewhat nervous about that part of new mom life. So I decided to follow along her page. Well, I got a whole bunch more than sleep training. This woman was in incredible shape. She had a 6-pack of abs and she had an 8-month-old. She was doing this online health and wellness coaching, and it was very intriguing to me. I kept following along. I loved what she was sharing, but I never liked or commented on anything because there was a part of me that was skeptical of what she was doing. And I figured if she messaged me, I would probably unfollow her. So I had my son, and my goal was to go back to work full-time in the ER. I was going to work nights and weekends so that he didn't have to do daycare. You know, I had always hoped that I could stay at home with him, but it just wasn't in the cards for us. And then in my postpartum journey, my entire life got flipped upside down. First, I had gained about 40 pounds with that pregnancy, despite exercising and despite staying active. And that magic of breastfeeding that everyone told me would get the weight off just wasn't helping. I had also had these postpartum pains that allowed me not to be able to walk to my mailbox. Sandy, can you still see me?
We've lost connection with Ashley. I'm getting you back, Ashley. How's it? Are you here? Let's get your volume.
Can you still see me okay?
You're all good.
Awesome. So my entire world kind of got flipped upside down in my postpartum journey. I had not been able to lose the weight, and I had these pains that didn't let me walk to my mailbox, let alone think of exercising. The day those pains went away, I started a rare scare with a rare form of breast cancer for the next 2 months. And in those 2 months, I didn't know if I was going to get to see my little baby boy turn 1. And it changed a lot of my priorities. I vividly remember laying in bed one night, thinking of the letters I'd write him for his first day at school, his first T-ball game, the day he became a dad himself, and thinking about what would it be like for my son not to have his mom around. And in those moments, my priorities shifted. I loved my job in emergency medicine. I loved what I was doing. But if there's anything that working trauma ER taught me, it's that this time is not guaranteed. And so I really wanted to find a way to have a little bit more time with my family, so I didn't miss those moments working in the hospital on the weekends. And I kept trying to think of what could I do with my healthcare degree at home, but I just couldn't find anything. And for some reason, this woman kept popping up on my news feed about this coaching opportunity, probably because I was going to her page every day to look at her stuff. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So the day that I got the breast biopsy that ultimately gave me the clean bill of health and I did not have to face that battle, I reached out to her to learn just a little bit more about what this coaching role was that she was sharing. As I listened to her speak, it was like I had felt my calling. I knew that I loved health and I wanted to take care of people before they landed in the emergency room. So I thought, you know what? If she can do this, why not me? If she'll teach me and guide me, I'll do the work and I will put my heart into this. So I signed up to start coaching. I struck the coach lottery. My upline coach is Holly Hillier, who is the #2 coach in the network next year. And from the first day, I had all the tools that I needed to see success. So I came in. My mission was simple. I wanted to get my health back in my own hands and get to a healthy weight. I wanted to share my real side of motherhood, the one that I wasn't seeing on my social media. I wanted to show people it's okay if you don't fit into your skinny jeans right away after you have a baby. And I just thought to myself, you know, if I could get one day a week at home with my son doing something that I loved, then I was going to work hard to do it.
I'm back, and I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your story. I know that a lot of people think that postpartum is can be easy to lose all that weight, and it's never easy, and it takes a lot of support. And I just so appreciate your story. Now, I want to go into this topic because it has been requested by people, and that is how you manage free groups and how it has boosted your confidence. But please start a little bit before the topic on what you were experiencing in terms of your own fears and confidence. So you take it away.
Yes, exactly. You know, you guys, when I was prepping to speak on this call, I literally laughed to myself thinking I am speaking on the national wake up call about confidence and inviting. I was never that person who was confident. I was a person afraid to message people. I'm a people pleaser, and I was just afraid of what they were going to think of me. And I can tell you in 3.5 years in doing this, what I found is that when I'm genuine in my message and I do so in a way that feels confident to me, I can't send the wrong message. And so one of my very favorite coaching stories that I want to lead with centers around this. I had a woman, she was following my social media pages. She was liking, commenting on stuff. She had reached out to me to join one of my paid communities and just had never followed through. So I decided to send her an invite to this free group. And a free group to me is just a 5-day short little group where I'll give out some samples and I'll support them for the week, and they don't have to purchase anything to be involved into it. She said yes, and she jumped in that group, and I just saw her come to life. She ended up after the group purchasing some of the Beachbody programs and joining into my full communities. And I will never forget the day. It was a couple months later down the road, she messaged me and she said, Ashley, I just have to thank you so much for reaching out to me and inviting me to that group. It gave me the confidence that I needed to jump in. I had wanted to do it before, but I just wasn't sure if I could commit. She told me, my daughter and I went grocery shopping today. My daughter looked up to me and she said, Mommy, this is the healthiest grocery cart we've ever got. She said, thank you for not only changing my life, you've changed hers. And in that moment, I thought to myself, what if I was too afraid to send that invite to her? What if I would have let what people were going to think of me getting in the way of doing something good? And so when I look at this, I realize that when I'm afraid to send an invite, that's making my business about me. And my business has nothing to do about me and everything about that person that I'm serving. So at the end of the day, or the beginning of the day when I start, I have to ask myself, am I sending this message to someone because I need to check off a box or I want a success club point? Or am I sending this because I genuinely think that it could help someone? And so as long as I'm keeping that in the center of my heart, and as long as I'm coming with that intention, then I feel that I can confidently present that offer. Now, I will tell you though, if you go back to when I started coaching, this was the least confident time in my life. Like I told you guys, I was 30 to 40 pounds heavier than I had ever been. I was literally living in my husband's gym shorts because I was too stubborn to go buy new clothes. And I was nowhere near the athlete that I was prior to becoming a mom. I truthfully didn't know what I was doing as a coach. I did not know what a challenge group was. Heck, you guys, it took me 3 weeks to even know that we had a cooking channel. And back then we only had Fixate. But what I did know, I knew that I loved helping people. I knew that health and fitness was very important. And I knew I was always up for a good challenge. And actually, you guys, my coach had told me to write down the names of 100 people and invite them to a group. And I wrote that name down. I wrote them all, and I never sent the invite once. But when I went back and I thought about those things that I loved, I thought about my passion in helping people and being that athlete, being up for a challenge. What I decided to do was I reached out to some of my family members and I said, hey, I'm going to put you in this private group this week. We're going to do this little fitness challenge. I'm going to ask you to go do your workout and post in the group. Will you guys come do it with me? And coming from a sports family, they were up for the challenge and they said yes. And it was so neat for me that week to see them come to life, to see them start getting their workouts in, and it started to click. I was like, okay, it doesn't matter what program I'm doing. If I can lead by example, if I can include people and make it fun, I bet you we can get more of these people involved into these groups. And it was, for me, it was suddenly like these weights were lifted from new mom life. It was like all of a sudden I was excited to work out again. All of a sudden the perfectionist in me who would have stopped when my son was crying during a workout, I picked him up and he did the workouts with me, and it became one of our most favorite bonding times. And it gave me that little bit of confidence to go all in on the Beachbody programs and get my own results so that I could confidently share them with others. But even as I gained that confidence, I still struggle to invite behind the scenes, that messaging to people where they have to buy something from me. I'm the girl who, growing up, I didn't want to ever ask anyone to buy a Girl Scout cookie, let alone now in my adult years, buy a challenge pack. And just like I mentioned, how I never wanted to comment on Holly's things and show up in her messaging because I would probably unfollow her. I just didn't want to be a random stranger showing up in people's inboxes. So I decided, let's keep these free groups as a main source to provide value. Let's build some trust. I want to show people what my coaching service is and what this community has to offer. And then at the end, if the time is right for them, they can join into our groups. So usually I'll run one free group a month and they will last for 5 days. When I first started, my goal was just to get 10 people in there. Now my goal is 100, some groups up to 400, but I'm here to tell you it's not about the number. It's about having those right people in there who connect with your message and connect with you. And that is what has helped me make successful groups. A lot of my people will come to my free group from attraction marketing. So what that means is I just make a post about what I'm going to do in my free group and they'll reach out to me to join. But also, these free groups have given me that confidence for that behind the scenes messaging that I was super nervous to send. And it's because it didn't feel like I was selling anything. It felt like I was giving services. And so that gave me that confidence to send it. So a message that I might send to someone, if they've been watching my stories, maybe they've reached out to me before and they've never followed through. I might say, hey, Amanda, thank you so much for all of your support on my page. Next week, I'm hosting a free follower appreciation group. I'm going to share some of my favorite recipes, meal prep checks. We've got some free workout samples for you to try. We're going to do some fun giveaways. Would you want to join us? That invite for me just felt so natural, and I would be receptive receiving that on the other end. And so since I felt like, okay, I would be good receiving that, that gave me that confidence to hit send. And so once they were in my group, my goal is to make this 5-day group the best experience possible. I generally run them in Facebook groups. Now, I love Bob groups. I just don't want them to have to enroll for anything to come take some of these services. Again, I'm not trying to sell anyone on anything. I just want to share some of my favorite tips and build some trust. So within these groups, I utilize a lot of the free resources that Beachbody has to offer, like their sample workouts and recipes. But I also make sure that I take it and I make it unique to me, and I put some of my own things in there. So I love to go live and go through my kitchen and maybe show some of my favorite kitchen staples. When I was working in the ER, I would literally take my lunchbox and show people what I was packing for lunch. And a lot of these things were things I was learning through Beachbody and implementing in my life, but I was relating it to my ideal client that was in that group. My groups were filled with a lot of healthcare workers and a lot of moms. And so my goal was just to give them something simple that they could take away from that free community and build that trust with them. These groups, they take some time to get up and to find the right things that help get the engagement going. But I knew if I could serve people well, if I could give them some little tips, that would then help them whenever they were ready on their journey. So if it wasn't this month, that was okay. It helped me build a layer of trust with them. And so as a result, when I would follow up with them at the end of the group, instead of getting ghosted, many times they would message me back and they'd share open with me their biggest concerns. You know, I found a lot of times, a lot of people, they're just afraid of being sold. Maybe they've bought into a workout program before or bought supplements, and they're just nervous to spend another $160 and end up right back where they started. so they can share openly with me about those things that are holding them back. You can also talk about their goals, and then I can confidently know which one of our programs, which one of our nutrition courses are going to help them get the results. And they've also seen that through that group, through me showing up all week and checking in on them and giving them things, I'm not just in this to sell them a shake or a challenge pack and disappear. I'm here to help them and take this journey one step at a time. Now, like I said, not everyone from a free group joins into a full group, and that's okay. Typically, for every 10 people, I will get one sign up after the group. Those who do not enroll with me, they are more than welcome to keep following my social media, where I'm going to keep giving them value then. And then I'll put them on a list to invite them to another free group in another 2 to 3 months. Usually what I find is it's just maybe not a good season. And so 2 to 3 months, we get into a new season, and that might be a great time for them to go all in on their health journey and then become a paying customer in my full challenge groups afterwards. After years of coaching, I've always tried to remember what that very first month felt like for me. I didn't know what Success Club was, or Share a Cart, or challenge groups. It was all so foreign to me. I didn't enroll to hit a term called Success Club. I enrolled to help people. And so I try and remember that and make it very simple for my new coaches. So each month, as part of our new coach onboarding, we'll run a free group together. I will coordinate the whole group. So the only thing they have to worry about is working on their health journey and inviting people to join them. This helps them get some early wins in their business. One of the most exciting things for me is when they come back to me and they say, Ashley, I can't believe how many people just told me yes. They didn't even buy anything. They just joined a group with them, but it starts building that confidence. So they can actually, within that group then, try out coaching for 5 days. They can check in on their clients. They can see how important it is to lead by example, and they can start to get those little wins. We'll do a lot of fun little challenges for engagement. Like we'll do dinner and done from 2B Mindset or hitting their water goal. And again, they come back to me and they're like, my client just messaged me excited that she hit her water goal. And they see the magic in the challenge group. And so that builds their confidence, and it shows in their posting, in their stories, in their messaging behind the scenes. And they start to get excited to run their own challenge groups and do this on a bigger scale. Also, this helps them fall in love with service to others. You know, we all know this is not a get rich quick. So in the beginning, they can celebrate these simple wins. They can celebrate serving others and just putting into action those simple, vital behaviors that are going to then help them grow that genuine business and hopefully see all the results that they want.
Well, you are almost done, but I'm going to make you go back for a second, because you had me when you said, I can't believe I'm speaking on this call about confidence, because I had none. So, but what I want to ask you about is, you said something that stopped me in my tracks. Your goal was to first add 10 people to a free group, right? Eventually you got to inviting 100 people, and your biggest month ever was 400 people. It's going to freak people out on the call right now. And you've only been coaching 3.5 years. So can you go back to that part a tiny bit and say, 10, what was 10 doing for you? Was it working for you? Was it enough? Not enough? How did you go from 10 to then ultimately 100 and having a big, huge month of 400? I just want people to know what's possible.
Yeah, so you want to know actually the biggest switch for me. 10 was working. I mean, 10 was maybe getting me Success Club 5, and that was good. What made the switch for me? It was actually a Team Cup month. I was on this Team Cup team, and I kind of got away from my values. I kind of went to this, I got to get Success Club points. I just got to get Success Club points. And that kind of showed in even my free groups that I was doing. And so that was a bad month for me, but I learned such an important lesson that month. I learned that when I was only showing up to get the points, it wasn't helping people. I got away from what I got into coaching. And so after that month, I actually reached out to my clients and asked them what they needed more help with. And this is something I should have been doing more of before. And they came back to me and they told me meal prepping. And so after that, I hate meal prepping. So I figured out, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out and figure out how to do it and do it fast. And so I gave it to my clients. And then I decided, well, what if I did a free community on this? What if I did a free community and just taught people how to meal prep? And I led with that. And that was the spark. Like, my audience, they just wanted help meal prepping. And from that is when I started to take that step from 10 to 100. It was all of a sudden people were reaching out and wanting more. They were tagging their friends because their friends wanted to join. And so it was really that switch in me going back to that service role into asking people what they wanted help with and leading with nutrition. And a lot of times too, those bigger groups, now it's my team is adding to them too. So that was slow, consistent growth over time. That was slow, consistent growth of, okay, 10 people were interested this month. Now I can add 10 people to invite in 2 to 3 months, in addition to all the new people that I'm adding. So it was just kind of that compound effect over time. And I don't want anyone to think you have to have a group of 100. Those groups of 10 in the beginning were some of my favorites because those were the people that had been following me in the beginning. So it's not about the number. It's about the right people that connect with you and your message.
Okay, that was a beautiful answer. Thank you very much, because I don't want to freak people out, but I do want to let them know that the confidence builds. I said it at the beginning of the call. The more you do things, the more you try, the more you invite, everything chalks up to more experience, more confidence, more fun. So thank you for unboxing that. And I want to also mention, and I'm going to do a little self-plug right now, and that is the Team Beachbody podcast. Because you want to listen back to Ashley. She's not done yet, but you want to go back to Facebook and watch it, or you want to go back to the podcast, and I'm putting it here because you had so much value in this call about how you do free groups, and you start them in Facebook actually for the 5 days, and you create that trust, and then you move them into a bod group. So you're setting expectations, you're building trust, you're getting more experience with leading a group. It's a win-win, and it sounds like you've been doing an excellent job. So I appreciate that. On a last question, what has been a key factor in your success the last 3.5 years?
Oh, well, there's been so many things, and I have to start with my parents because they taught me from an early age to serve others well and to just work hard. And that carried over into my coaching roles. And from day one, I had an amazing mentor in Holly Hillier who gave me every tool and the belief that I could make the business anything that I wanted it to. I think of this call, you guys, I've listened to this for 3.5 years, and it used to be on my way to work when I was driving 30 minutes to the hospital. And I can vividly remember being in tears, just hearing the stories of other coaches and their success. And it just instilled in me this belief that if they could do it, then I could do it too. And so my hope is today that I helped even just one of you. If I could go from that very unconfident mom and just celebrate those little wins and let that be my confidence over time that you can grow and make it into anything that you want. You know, the best thing about being a Beachbody coach is you get to make this whatever you want. So I was able to pull bits and pieces from other coaches that matched my values and do a business that was true to me. And I will just say that whenever I kept service first, whenever I just truly tried to focus on the people that I was serving, my business just naturally grew the most. I had the most fun and fulfillment, and that's when I saw the most growth.
Isn't it crazy to think that somebody is listening to you now, will be on the call in a year or two, and will say, it was that call that inspired me to do what I'm doing and to stick it out. So I appreciate you so much, Ashley. You've done a lot of hard work for this call. And I think a little birdie told me that you're even going to unbox this even further on the Champions page next month. So we look forward to that because free groups seem to be right now the biggest confidence booster for coaches. So appreciate you, coaches. Stick around right now. Keisha is going to take us through bod group training for 5 minutes. And Keisha, how you doing?
Doing good. Boy, that was great. I was loving the comments outside for the negative ones, but I was loving the comments that coaches were saying about free groups. So Ashley, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Okay, coaches, it is time to talk for 5 minutes about bod groups. Now, if you are on the Champions page, by the way, if you're not, get on the Champions page. It's a Facebook page exclusively for Beachbody coaches to help train you to increase your confidence in business. Last week, I did a poll on that page, and I asked you the question, who was the very first person that you signed up? What relationship did you have with that person? The overwhelming response was the very first person that you signed up was a friend, a roommate, or a family member. It's the people around you. It's the people you already are in contact with. It's the people you have trust with. It's the people you have great relationships with. So when you think about inviting people to bod groups, don't get panicky on me. Don't have this anxiety of I need to reach out to these people outside on social media and it's nerve-wracking. No, just go up to your friend, go up to your family member, go up to your sister, your mom, your dad, your brother, go up to your roommate, your best friend, and just simply say, look, I'm starting this new program. It's called 9-Week Control Freak. I need to be held accountable. Like accountability is huge and I need somebody to help do this with me. Is that something you want to do? It's as simple as that. And then they say, yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about doing this as well. You say, great. I'm going to send you an invite to where we can hold each other accountable on this brand new platform. That's all you need to say. So let me just quickly share my screen to show you how you can do that. Sandy, help me out and make sure I'm on the right screen. Okay. All you need to do as a coach, after you talk to your family or friend, or even before, you can set this up before, guys, and just set up for a date, is go to beachbodyondemand.com. This is where you do your workouts. And one of the tiles up here at the top is bod groups. You click on that, you click on start a group, and you click on get started. You come down to select a theme. I just mentioned 9-Week Control Freak. You can do that. You can do one specifically on nutrition. If you are wanting to do a bod group specifically with nutrition, you can do that. And you can help them with either Tubi Mindset or the Ultimate Portion Fix, whatever it may be. You can do a yoga one, a running one. Guys, focus on family health. That's the month of February, something that we're doing. This time, instead of 9-Week Control Freak, I'm just going to do a regular fitness one. And because I'm going to talk to my friends and family this week, I'm not going to start this one till the first week of March. And we're going to go, you know what, this is just going to be a 30-day group. So a 31-day group, a 1-month group. So I'm just going to do the entire month of March. I want them to see the value that comes with this group, okay? So I'm going to do an English group. And for this, who can view your group listing page? This is just people who can see if they want to come join you. This can be something that just your family and friends see. This can be something that as people come across your page, they can see, whatever you may be. This time, I just want it to be me and my best friends. We're just going to do this together. So I'm going to make it a private group. I would love to hear from Carl. I would love to hear from Super Trainer. So I'm going to keep that checked. And then I'm going to call this Keisha's Awesome Group. Okay, and then we're going to select an image. Oh, this one's already on fitness. Great. So, I don't know. Push-up one was cool. I like that. Let's do the push-up one. Okay, we click next, but there's plenty to choose from. Wow, he's really holding that water bottle really tight. Okay, we're going to move on. And I don't have a video. This is just something that they can just click on. This is the group I was talking about. Jump in and let's hold each other accountable. Okay. I want them to have Beachbody on Demand. Remember, they can join with a free 14-day trial. Completely fine, and they will have access to this. I want them to start doing Shakeology. And I'm going to put on here that we're going to do Tubi Mindset. Okay, I'll talk to them about that, but I want them to be like, what is Tubi Mindset? Well, how come I have to, this is something you're recommending? Kind of bring up the conversation. Okay. All right. Testimonials. That one looks great. That one looks great. And that one looks great. Okay. You can choose up to 3 if you would like. You can now preview your group. Yeah, Keisha's Awesome Group. Starts in 6 days, 15 hours, 18 minutes. So I'm going to now, this looks great to me. So I'm going to move on. And now I'm going to start sending invites. I'm going to start talk to my friends and family. The 1 or 2 people, my best friends, like, look, I need help doing this. So I'm just going to send them in, get a link. I'm going to take this link, copy it, and I'm going to send them an email through my own email because that's how they know me. Or I can do this through text or whatever it may be. They'll go in. They will sign up with their own 14-day free trial. We'll give it a shot. And then, guys, it is simple as that. Free groups lead to bod groups. Bod groups leads to coaches and changes and people who love what they do. Okay, that is, guys, it's as simple as that. That's Bod groups in a nutshell. It is February. It's the last week of February. I've been reading on the comments section. So many people are hesitant. Get out of your comfort zone. If I could smack you across the face, I would. Like, snap out of it. Stop dwelling and being in this rut. Get out of it. Get out of it, because you're not going to get out of it unless you get out of it. So get out of it. That was an obvious thing. Okay, guys, that's all. I've been past my 5 minutes with Keisha. Have an awesome week, guys. Final week of Team Cup, and we will catch you on another National Wake Up Call. Bye, guys.